Say, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to love rusty old trucks. They'll always be broke and cut and dirty. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Well, if you don't know what you're doing, maybe you ought not be doing it. Say, mamas, don't let your babies grow up to love rusty old trucks. Too late, sorry. Here we go again. Out here working on the truck today, doing some more sheet metal repair on the firewall, and came across a big mess. Let me show you. So here's what we got. I always noticed that it was when it would rain, stuff would get inside the cab. I always figured it was this vent was leaking over here, but no. There's a big rusty area. There's a seam that runs across here, and I mean, it wasn't tore this far out. I did that trying to get the cowl off, but yeah, so this is where it was coming in at, leaking down into the cab. So I had to cut the cowl off right here and then cut all the spot welds that hold it around, all the way around, and fight it off. It's right there. Which I'll be able to put it back on, weld it back on when I'm done. I was going to take it off anyway, but I was only going to take it off from here so I could eliminate this vent and smooth it like I did the other side. But I decided I've got to fix that, so I went ahead and took it off all the way up to there, and then I'll splice it back on. Never even know it was taken off. So that looks like today's project is going to be fixing this disaster. All right, I've been sitting here contemplating how to repair all of this. I think I've come up with it's going to be several steps. The first one, I was going to shave this vent anyway and eliminate it because I'm not using them. I got air conditioning now. I don't need this. I've never really liked them anyway. They always leak and everything else. So the plan is going to be to cut all the way around here. Actually, probably going to be closer to here. And then pie cut this so I can hammer it down into a closer contour and contour this in. So this will be the first, is replacing where this vent is. Then after that is in place, then I'm going to cut this lip out because it's pretty much rusted all along this edge. So then the next will be to cut this out about 2 inches wide all the way up, and I'll have to make a new channel section using the shrinker stretcher. I'll make a channel, replace that part, and then the next part will be the top here to cut out this rust section and patch it in. So this is probably going to be one of the most complicated patches I've done yet. Wish me luck. Just wanted to point out that I listened to everybody's feedback, and I am wearing closed-toed shoes in the garage today, unlike my normal attire of flip-flops. My feet have been hurting too, so my wife pointed out that I should probably wear something with some support and arch support, so we'll see. Generally, on this thin metal, I like to use cutoff wheels, just a little more precise and cleaner cut. Don't have to grind back, clean it up, straighten it up nearly as much, but having a hard time cutting on this curve over here, so we're breaking out the plasma cutter. All right, plasma cutter made short work of that. Got it cut out. So now I'm gonna make a piece to fill that in. And that'll take care of the vent and the rusty section of the kick panel. It's all down here still solid. So fortunately I don't have to mess with too much of that. So then we'll fill this in and then work on that lip and that area up there. All right, it's all cut out, cleaned up. So now what I'm gonna do is cut out the piece of metal that's gonna fill that in. And I'll use cardboard to make a template, and then transfer it over to the metal, cut that out, and then work it in. All right, I made the cardboard template, took it over, traced it out, cut out a piece of metal. I left it long on purpose, that way I can cut it down to size. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tack this back edge in here. This bottom's kind of close, but again, I'll do the cutoff wheel and put the perfect gap there. So I'm gonna tack this back edge. And then since this is contoured, I'm gonna start working it around with the hammer and dolly after I tack that side to match this contour. That way I can get it down in there and weld that as well. All right, there's the panel. Tacked it in a little bit just to hold it in spot. You can see right here I've got that. So now I have got to start working this panel around to fill that to the point that I can weld it in there. So now's the time to start beating on it with a hammer and dolly to get that to fit in there. All right, there it is. It's all shaped. It's still got a few hammer marks I need to hammer and dolly out, but I don't know. Nobody will ever see it anyway. It's behind this cowl panel, so it's never going to be seen anyhow. Not a big deal. The only part you're ever going to see is the inside, and even that will be covered by a kick panel with a speaker. So it's, but you can see it matches came out really good. Matches the contour nice. Flows in pretty good. So that's patched up and the vent is shaved. So tomorrow will be part 2, and that's where I'm going to replace this this lip around here. So I'll replace that, fix that rust, and then put the cowl box back on.